Good morning. Houston is quietly beating every major real estate market. And across the United States, commercial real estate markets are still navigating the aftermath of rising interest rates, valuation resets, and shifting investor sentiment. Yet one metro in particular continues to outperform quietly while many coastal markets struggle. And that's Houston. While cities like San Francisco or Los Angeles or New York battle office distress and declining population trends, Houston has emerged as one of the most resilient and opportunity rich commercial real estate markets in the country. And for investors, developers, and business owners looking at the next cycle of growth, Houston is increasingly becoming the market that consistently wins based on fundamentals. So let's talk about population growth and how that drives real estate demand in general. And Houston's long term advantage starts with population growth and migration trends. People are moving to Texas. And the Houston metro area in particular continues to add more residents annually than almost any major U.S. metro in the nation. And that growth fuels demand across every property type, whether it be an industrial distribution center, or for multifamily housing, or for medical office buildings, or for retail centers, or for land development. And new residents means new businesses and new services and new infrastructure investments, all of which support commercial real estate absorption. For investors, population growth is the ultimate demand driver, and Houston remains one of the strongest growth markets in America. So let's talk about job growth and economic diversification. And Houston's economy is no longer dependent solely on energy. And today, the region has diversified into major industries, including some of the following. But of course, we're known for energy and petrochemicals, but also healthcare and life sciences. And the MD Cancer Center is one of the greatest in the world, but also aerospace and advanced manufacturing, logistics and distribution through the port, but also technology and data infrastructure. So let's talk about the Texas Medical Center, and that's the largest medical complex in the world, and it continues expanding its research and clinical footprint. Meanwhile, the Port of Houston remains one of the fastest growing ports in North America, which helps drive local logistics demand. And this economic diversity helps stabilize commercial real estate cycles and keeps demand strong across multiple property sectors. Houston's industrial real estate is dominating. And one of the strongest sectors in Houston's commercial real estate today is industrial, particularly with logistics development. And that demand continues to surge due to e-commerce growth and the ready adoption, but also the expansion of the Houston ports and manufacturing reshoring. AI and data center infrastructure is another category. And industrial vacancy remains relatively tight compared to national averages, and rents have steadily climbed as companies compete for well located logistics space. So we have some corridors in Houston, particularly the I-10 West corridor from the energy corridor out to Katy. But Grand Parkway is 99, and the Port of Houston has industrial hubs nearby. And they're all seeing significant development activity. And for many institutional investors, Houston's industrial remains a core portfolio allocation. Multifamily absorption remains strong. And even as national multifamily construction peaks, Houston continues to show strong absorption. And the reason is simple. Houston is adding jobs and residents faster than new supply can fully catch up. So while some markets are seeing elevated vacancy due to overbuilding, Houston's long-term demographic growth continues to support apartment demand. And institutional investors are taking notice, with Houston ranking among the top U.S. markets for multifamily investment allocations. As well, Houston's retail is surprisingly resilient. Now, while headlines claim retail is dying, the reality is much more nuanced. And retail in Houston is thriving in areas experiencing population growth, particularly in suburbs such as Katy and Fulshear and Cypress and Richmond. And grocery anchored retail centers and service oriented retail continue performing extremely well. So, as thousands of new homes are delivered in master planned communities, retail follows to serve those populations. And for investors, retail tied to population growth remains one of the most stable property types. So let's talk about land and development opportunities, and those remain abundant in Houston. And unlike many coastal markets that are constrained by geography or regulation in particular, Houston still offers large scale development opportunities. As well, there's some major growth corridors to target, which can include, think about FM 1463, the Katy Fulshear expansion, the Grand Parkway development zones, the West Park Tollway growth corridor, but also Brookshire and Waller County expansion. And these areas are attracting developers who are building mixed use communities, industrial parks, medical office facilities, retail centers. And for investors who want exposure to long term growth, Houston land development remains one of the most compelling opportunities in the US. So let's talk about why investors are quietly shifting capital to the Houston area. And institutional capital is increasingly flowing towards markets with strong fundamentals rather than speculative hype. And where Houston's different, it offers several structural advantages. First being it's generally a lower cost basis, so land and development costs remain competitive. Business friendly environment, and Texas continues to attract companies relocating from higher cost states. Think California. Population growth, migration continues fueling demand. And also economic scale. Houston is the fourth largest city in the US. And for disciplined investors, these fundamentals matter more than short term market noise. So let's look at the big picture for investors. And real estate cycles always favor markets with strong fundamentals. And Houston continues to outperform because it's the perfect combination of population growth, job expansion, infrastructure investment, land availability, and business friendly policy. Now, for investors seeking long term real estate opportunities, Houston is not just competitive with other markets, it may just be quietly outperforming them. My name is Bill Rapp. I work with the eXp Commercial Viking Enterprise team. We offer commercial real estate services here in Katy, Fulshear, and Houston. And if you're looking to buy, to sell, to lease, or to finance commercial property in Houston, our team would be glad to help. I'd love to talk to you more. Please visit HoustonRealEstateBrokerage.com to figure out how to get a hold of me. Glad to have a conversation. Take care.